Hi everyone. So today's lecture is on chapter 1, which is marketing fundamentals. So this chapter is just an overview on the 4Ps, the marketing mix, and an explanation of all the building blocks that are going to be kind of discussed throughout this whole semester. So I'm going to advance to the next slide. So on this slide and the following slide are the learning outcomes. So at the end of this lecture, you should be able to do the learning objectives that are listed on this slide here. I'm not going to read them off. You can review them. And then the ones here on this slide. So the opening vignette in this chapter is on WestJet, and in 1996, WestJet recognized that there was an emerging market segment of the low-cost travel that was successfully implemented in the United States, which was done by Southwest Airlines. And they asked, why is this not happening in Canada? So they launched their own low-cost carrier with 3 737 airplanes, which just initially serviced 5 cities exclusively in Western Canada. They focused on only one type of aircraft, which was those 737s, just so they could control all the costs that went along with that aircraft. After 23 years in the marketplace, they now have approximately 180 aircraft, employ about 14,000 employees. They service 108 destinations in 21 markets. So not only were they attributed from taking some of the market share away from their competitors like Air Canada, they also contributed to the overall growth of the marketplace, because back in 1996, 18% of the population traveled by air, meaning that they traveled by other means of transportation. But now in 2019, I do realize that's an older statistic, it has expanded to 49% people travel by air. So 49 from 18, that's quite a growth. With today's market even more segmented, it has brought the emergence of like the low cost carrier segment, which has been implemented by someone like, Ryanair over in Europe, which has kind of again forced airlines to evaluate the marketing environment, and which has led to WestJet launching Swoop back in June of 2018. It's currently a successful enterprise, and it provides the ultra-low alternative with fares as much as 30% lower than WestJet. And as you know, the only thing that basically comes with those is like the seat and the seatbelt, and every extra little thing, there is a fee associated with it, and that's how they generate that revenue. I'm not going to get into all the details of breaking down the marketing mix of WestJet. This was in the required reading for chapter 1. It gets into discussing the product, the price, the place, and also the promotion of WestJet. So with that being said, I'm going to advance to the next slide. So Chapter 1 introduces marketing as a concept that focuses on the most important person, and that is the customer, the consumer, or the client. It looks at the integral role that marketing plays within an organization, examines the whole marketing process, explain how it's evolved, and also this chapter will discuss some of the latest developments that are out there. So, you and your experience in shopping gives you some expertise in marketing, whether you know it or not. As a consumer, you have been involved in thousands of marketing decisions, mostly on the buying side and not on the selling. Marketing affects all individuals, organizations, industries, and all countries. Marketing programs focus on consumers, providing them with value through products that meet the customer's needs. Marketers must attempt to create distinct images for their products, setting them apart from their competition. Long-term business success is tied to carefully designed product, pricing, distribution, and promotional strategies that meet those current customer needs, trends, and also expectations. On the bottom of this slide, you see the marketing tip, which is a quote from Vice President of WestJet saying, "We take our job seriously, not ourselves. Our brand expression of personality has changed over the past 23 years to meet the changing needs of the customer." So going back to that opening vignette where they saw a need and a want in the marketplace by the customer to have a low-cost air carrier. And that is why they cropped up in the marketplace with WestJet. And then it showed a shift in the market that the customers now wanted ultra low-cost carriers. And that's why they did their homework, came up with a whole marketing strategy, and came up with Swoop Airlines back in June of 2018. Again, I cannot stress that it is so important to always focus on the customers, their wants and needs through their mindset and working through all your marketing strategy. On this slide, you will see that it's figure 4.1, and it's kind of breaking down the different marketing department and how it relates to other divisions within an organization. So the marketer's ultimate objectives are to drive profits for a company, or if working on like a non-profit sector like charity, it's to generate revenue and support and fund programs and to run like operations for that nonprofit. They are integral function in any business, and they need to work cooperatively with other functional areas. So like I had mentioned about needs and wants, a successful marketing program focuses on the needs and wants and try to develop customer value through programs that engage that customer and also encourage customer loyalty. Customers' needs and wants are often vague, and marketers turn to market research for any clarification. So just to kind of break through or break down what's on this slide, a need is someone that is feeling deprived of the basic necessities, a need for food, water, and shelter. And then a want is a need that is shaped by a person's knowledge, culture, and personality. So I want that brand of clothes because you see, your peers or your friends wearing them. A really good example is in my life is my little guy started kindergarten last year, so he's in grade 1 now. He never cared about brands like Under Armour or Nike or anything before, but then he got to school and his want for Under Armour really changed and was shaped by, what his classmates were wearing. And then now he's starting to watch kids YouTube, and he's seeing all these different brands, and that is shaping, his want. So again, it is so important to always focus on the needs and the wants of your customer. So again, continuing on this slide, it's so important to focus on the needs and the wants of the customer. And a customer doesn't always necessarily know what they need or what they want. A really good example is I subscribe to emails from Banana Republic and Lululemon. I will get an email, say from, Banana Republic in my email, and in it has a promo code for say 30% off that jacket that I was, eyeing up. And then all of a sudden that email has prompted me to want to go and purchase that now that it is, on sale. And another thing that is really added to the complexity of a customer knowing of what they want and what they need is the digital world. So one of our first points of contact with a brand is online. So just think about you going and investigating some new product or service that you hear about. Where's the first place that you go? Well, you go to the internet, you go online. And when they go online, customers have an unlimited opportunity, and we become much more distracted because there's so much more noise out there. But we also have the opportunity to be much more informed about our purchases. And we must be able to quickly find that information on search engines. I know if I search something and I put it in my Google search, I don't even make it past the first page. I don't go into page 2. If it's not on that first page, forget it. I'm not going any further. So it's so important for marketers to be able to manage their online or digital presence. So again, it's so important to focus on the needs and the wants of the customer. So marketers want to develop programs that engage with those customers so that it turns into customer loyalty. And when you're loyal to a brand, you then have to spend less time and effort building that relationship. There is one brand out there that I am extremely loyal to, and that is Apple. So because I'm a loyal Apple user, when it comes time to get a new smartphone or a new laptop, I don't even think about that I'm going to Best Buy to take a look at Acer, Toshiba, or whatever. I know I'm just going right to Apple to purchase it. I am loyal. As you can see, I got an iPad, and as I'm doing this, I'm doing it on my Mac Pro. So that's why it's so important to build that relationship and have the appropriate marketing mix, of which is basically the 4 Ps, so that you get that customer to be loyal. Customer value is the unique combination of benefits received by target buyers or customers that includes like quality, price, convenience, on-time delivery before sale, and also after-sale service. Customer value is created by providing customers with products that have added value through the combination of like their product design, their pricing strategies, and also the service elements. The customer value proposition conveys the unique combination of benefits received by that customer that will satisfy the need that they have. And again, these benefits could include anything from the quality, the price, convenience, on-time delivery, both before sale and after sale service. And marketers deliver this value by managing each element of the marketing mix, which is product, price, place, promotion, so that this value is evident to its customers. So an example of a customer value proposition of Tim Hortons is always fresh. And Tim Hortons want to offer the customer this always fresh, that they want to be the quality leader in everything that they do by diversifying its product lines. Also, I know this always fresh, that the coffee doesn't sit in the coffee pot longer than 30 minutes. Another example would be, it's one of the pizza companies, I want to say Pizza, or maybe it's Caesar's Pizza, that if the pizza is not delivered in 30 minutes or less, then the pizza is free. So that is creating some value in terms of like the service elements, of their product. Also too, you can see products that you get like a 30-day money-back guarantee if you don't like the product and the way the product was designed. I know that there's lots of mattress companies out there that are doing this, that you get the product or the mattress delivered to you, and if it's not satisfactory to your needs and your wants, then you have like the 100-day return policy. Since companies do not have like an unlimited amount of funds, they cannot satisfy everyone's needs. So they must design products that appeal to a specific group of customers that we will call target markets. A target market is a specific group or segment of existing and potential customers to which that marketer targets its marketing efforts, like the marketing mix, to appeal to that specific target market. So again, always thinking through that customer, that target market, or that segment, and working through the strategies for the 4Ps, where best to place it, how best to price it, how best to promote it, and what best to go into that product design to satisfy that target market. So the elements of the marketing mix consist of product, price, place, and promotion. Each element is well coordinated and managed by marketers to appeal again to that target market. Product, which is a good, a service, or an idea that is designed to satisfy the customer needs. I'm going to use the Apple iPhone. So now, as a customer, I want a better camera, I want better battery life. So each time that they launch a new iPhone, they are improving the design of that product to meet the needs of the customer. Then price is what is exchanged for the product. And obviously that's monetary, which is, price. So what would I be willing to pay as a customer for, that iPhone? And that's why they come up with all these pricing strategies, like say through TELUS or Bell. They have buyback programs, or you can fund your iPhone over, the life of your contract that you have with your phone. Then the next thing is place. So the way in which your product is going to get to that customer. So how are we going to get that iPhone to the customer? Well, you can do that direct through Apple. Apple stores, Apple online. You can also use retailers like, Best Buy, Staples, and then they also go to cell phone providers like Bell, TELUS, Rogers, etc. And then the fourth of the marketing mix, or 4Ps, is promotion. So those are the tools needed to communicate with customers about the product. So how are you finding out about the new Apple iPhone 12? Is it television commercial? Is Apple doing any social media ads? Are they doing coupons in the mail with a new promo with it, etc.? The one thing that is really, really important is marketers always have to be defining their target market in more complex terms, including elements such as likes, dislikes, the motivations, their interests, and also concerns. And they do this by gathering information that they would do in market research. And we will get into this in a later chapter discussing market research. But this is how marketers would find out the wants and the needs of that customer so that they can make the best informed decisions on the whole marketing mix and the 4Ps. The marketing process is a continuous process that requires marketers to pay attention to detail and apply their strategic, analytical, and creative thinking skills. This process is a 3-step continuum process that involves identifying customer needs, managing the marketing mix to meet those needs, and reaching potential customers or the market to realize some profits or revenues. Marketers constantly evaluate the success of their programs, implementing and recommending future changes to improve their programs. So I'm going to go back to the example of the Apple iPhone, getting a new iPhone. I look for a better camera, longer battery life. So that is where the marketers would do research to find out what I needed: better camera, longer battery life. And then number 2 there, managing the marketing mix. So obviously they would have to go back to their product development department and develop and design and innovate the way that they are going to make a longer battery in their phone, make a better camera. I know I have an iPhone 11, and I noticed with the iPhone 13, there is 3 cameras on the back of your phone as opposed to the 2. So again, that all had to be done in product development so that that product could be designed better to meet the needs, as I mentioned in step number 1. And then moving down to number 3 there, realizing profits or reaching the potential customer, then would be me making a purchase to get that new iPhone 13 so that I do have better battery, better camera to take pictures. Again, marketing is the process of constantly developing, pricing, promoting, distributing those goods, services, and ideas to satisfy the needs of that customer. To serve both the buyer and the seller, marketing seeks to achieve 2 objectives, which is the idea of exchange with the trade of things of value between the buyer and the seller, which is me purchasing the phone in terms of generating some revenue for Apple. And ultimately, marketers are responsible for generating company profits and marketing programs that are designed with this in the end mind of the company. So just a little bit of a quick recap. Marketing is a process through which goods and services and also an idea, and an example of an idea would be like Earth Day, where everybody buys into the idea of turning their lights off or trying to lessen their footprint on the earth. That's an example of marketing an idea. So marketing is done through the eyes or the wants or the needs of the customer. Cannot stress the importance of that. So it's very important for that company to always identify, select, and develop a product through the wants and needs of the customer, to determine the price that customer is willing to pay, then select a distribution channel or a place where that customer can buy that. So where am I buying that iPhone? Is it at the TELUS cell phone dealer, or is it at Best Buy? Is it at the Apple online store or Apple store? And then also developing and implementing a promotional strategy, so communicating that new iPhone 13. And then obviously at the end, after the company has done the marketing mix, there will be an exchange between the customer and the company, or the buyer and the seller, so that each has a benefit. And it is a benefit, it mostly is money, so that like Apple would realize, revenue or profits, and we would walk away with a smartphone that we can use it for many things, texting our friends, communication, photos, etc. Our smartphones can do so much, search the internet. But it's also more than just the money. It's about building that relationship, answering the need and want in the customer, and then turning it into, loyalty. Like I had mentioned that I am loyal to Apple. So what can be marketed? Goods, services, and ideas all can be marketed. In marketing, we refer to these as products. And we'll explain, like a product is basically a product that you can touch and own. And it's like an example would be, running shoes or a bottle of water, anything tangible that you can touch or own. Service is an intangible product, which you cannot touch, such as like, going to a movie or getting your hair cut. And then an idea is a concept which typically looks for your support, such as a political party or a cause, like I had mentioned previously, like Earth Hour. And on this slide here is marketing the Mo, which in 2007, Movember was launched in Canada. Since its inception, the Movember campaign has raised approximately $700 million. In fact, the Movember Foundation is one of the largest investors in men's health in the world. They have celebrated their 10th anniversary in Canada in 2009, and donations started to go down. So Movember is trying to move beyond just the mustache The mustache is still a major part of the brand, but it has expanded into men's mental health and also suicide prevention. There is less focus on the mustache logo and more focus on stopping men from dying too young. Part of the reason that the mustache is no longer at the forefront of the campaign is the popularity of the campaign itself. Mustaches have become more popular over the last decade, particularly in younger men. And Movember is credited for having driven, that trend. Men grew a mustache, tried it, and they had kept it. Movember is a month-long opportunity for participants to outwardly show their support for men's health, also generating some conversation, exchanging of knowledge, and ultimately donations to the Movember Foundation. So potential customers, they make up the market, which consists of people that are both willing and able to buy a specific product. And that ultimately is what our market is. Business approaches have changed over time. They have been steered by improved technology, increased competition, and the evolving of different philosophy approaches. So the stages have overlapped, but in general terms, they are basically how I'm going to, break them down. So the production orientation stage was until the 1930s. So this approach focused on manufacturing goods, which tended to sell regardless of their quality since they were in short supply. Customers' needs here were not a priority. Then moving over to the sales orientation stage, that was from the 1930s to the 1960s. This approach focused on selling as many products as possible in more competitive markets where products were in abundance. Companies were hard selling to make profits. Customers' needs were still not a major consideration out there. Then moving over to the marketing orientation stage, this was from the 1960s to the 1990s. This approach focused and switched to the customer's needs. The market was very competitive, and meeting customer needs was the path to success and profits. If a company did not meet customer needs, another company would be able to do so. Then moving over to the final one there, which is the relationship marketing orientation stage, which was the 1990s upward. This approach considered the lifetime value of its customers and developing long-term relationships with them. It emphasized customer retention, which is meaning hanging on to them, and ongoing satisfaction with the customer rather than the short-term sale. The philosophy behind this approach is that improved customer relationships can increase customer loyalty, improve customer retention levels, and lead to greater profits for the organization. So going back to that customer lifetime value, I want to use an example of something that I purchase, and that's a car. I lease my vehicles for 4-year windows, and I am extremely loyal to my salesperson at Hillside Motors, David Falls, and I have purchased, I am on my 5th car with him, and I know that in the future, every 4 years, I will get a new vehicle. So he sees the value over my lifetime of purchases, new vehicles. So he really starts that relationship. One, so that I am loyal. He provides me customer service. So if my car goes in for a service, he drives me where, to work, or gives me a loaner vehicle, does anything to improve on the customer relationship. So again, when it comes time in 4 years for me to get another, lease another vehicle, I know I'm going right back into David because he knows all my wants, all my needs in a vehicle. To have a 3-row SUV, I want power liftgate, heated seats. leather because I have children and I don't want fabric. So that is how the success and the business philosophy has evolved over time, that it would realize, more profits. There's also 3 elements that go along with relationship marketing, and that's social media, customer relationship management, and corporate social responsibility. So we all know social media is a form of online media that allows members to create their own network of friends, share comments, articles, opinions, etc. So that is a way that you can go about building a relationship with your customer, is having social media presence. The second one there is customer relationship management, or CRM. The overall process by building and maintaining a profitable customer relationship by delivering superior customer value and satisfaction. That really goes to the point of what I discussed with my relationship with my salesperson at Hillside Motors. Then number 3 is corporate social responsibility, or CSR. This is when organizations voluntarily consider the well-being of society by taking responsibility for how their business impacts their customers, their suppliers, employees, shareholders, the community, the environment, and society in general. An example of this would be Dawn dish detergent. When I think of the Dawn dish detergent commercials, I don't always think about the dishes. I always think about the little duck that they're washing on the television commercial to get the oil that they had got into from like an oil spill. So it's showing that that company is corporate socially responsible, that they're building chemicals that, one, are good for the environment. They show that they're not harsh, that they're using them on the duck to get the oil back. They put money into the safety of the community for our wildlife. Also, another example was the shoes, Toms. So if you purchased a pair of Toms, so much of the money went towards giving a pair of shoes to someone in a country that could not afford them, or giving them a free pair of shoes. So that's being corporate social responsible. So businesses recognize that improved customer relationships can result in increased customer loyalty, improved customer retention levels, and greater profits for that organization. So as I'd mentioned, CRM is the overall process of building and maintaining profitable customer relationships by delivering superior customer value and satisfaction. It's less expensive to serve and maintain current customers than it is to constantly acquire new ones. So again, that's why it's important to really build that relationship to maintain that current customer that you have. You can do this through 3 different ways. It is share of wallet, the customer lifetime value, and also your corporate social responsibility. So share of wallet is a percentage of a customer's purchase that a company has in a specific product category. So loyalty cards are used, and they also can track offers and customize them for the customer. So an example that I have of this is Shoppers Optimum. I have a Shoppers Optimum loyalty card. I have the card. I also have the app on my phone because I've lost the card. So the app has my card on it. I can add it to my wallet. I subscribe to emails, and I also get their texts. I know the other day I got a text from Optimum, and it had stated, I can't remember it specifically, but I've gotten one similar like this, that if you spend $60, you get 20 times the points. And they have tracked all my purchases, because every time I scan that card at the checkout, it knows what I've purchased. It knows what brand of mascara, what kind of face wash. They would also track my purchases to know that my behavior is that I only purchase big ticket items at Shoppers during 20 times the points, like my mascara, which is about $30 a tube. And I want to get some loyalty points. Then moving down to customer value, this is where the potential sales that will be generated by a customer if that customer remains loyal to that company for their lifetime. The example that I have of this is going back to Hillsides. So like I said, I lease a vehicle every 4 years. I am on my 5th car with my salesperson. I am 43. I hope to be driving till I'm 85, let's say. So that's 42 years left I have of purchasing vehicles. If I divide that by 4, I'm going to purchase approximately 10.5 more vehicles from Hillside Motors. So they can figure out what my lifetime value is and how important it is to manage that relationship so that I'm constantly going back every 4 years to purchase a new vehicle. Then moving down to corporate social responsibility, this is when organizations voluntarily consider the well-being of society by taking responsibility for how their business impacts their stakeholders, like their customers, suppliers, employees, shareholders, community, the environment, and society in general. Loblaws, which is the parent company of Atlantic Superstore, is an excellent example of demonstrating a commitment to give back to the community and operate in a responsible manner. Their strategy is built on 3 pillars: sourcing, environment, and also community. So on this slide here are also some corporate social responsibility initiatives. So the first one is sponsorship and spearheading of different community programs that are out there. Sponsorship or involvement in fundraising initiatives for like a charitable organization. So examples, I really think of number 2 is that I've gone into Toys R Us before Christmas to make purchases for Christmas, and every time I went to the cash, they asked me if I wanted to make a donation to sometimes it's been like the IWK or Christmas Daddies or whatever. So that would be the organization collecting donations for that organization. An example of number 1 would be them getting directly involved, like maybe Staples getting involved on giving school supplies for schools in low-income areas. And then number 3, business philosophy that implements social responsible business practices. There was a really good example of this one. It would be like Tom's or Cadbury had done it, that they come up with marketing programs that focus on, customer and the well-being of society. So every time that you purchased a pair of Tom's shoes, someone in a country that could not afford a pair of shoes would be given a pair of shoes. So it was really built into the philosophy, like obviously you're purchasing shoes and it's giving shoes. So it's really embedded in their business practices. So there's lots of new and evolving marketing practices that are happening today. So marketing today is really focusing on meeting the short-term customer needs and generating some immediate profits, as well as the long-term viability and also the sustainability of that business. And then creating that meaningful customer relationship and also community initiatives. So being corporately, socially responsible. With digital technology, it's really changed the path to purchase and how customers gather information, connect with one another, and also businesses and how they go about making purchases. In 2019, over 33 million people had mobile devices in Canada, and they spend over 157 minutes per day online, logging an average of 25 hours per month watching online videos, which has led to the evolving areas of the 7 points that are on this slide. Digital marketing, augmented reality, experiential marketing, influencer, partnership, matrix and analytics, and also new marketing regulations and ethical considerations out there. So I will break them down on the following slides. So the widespread of digital technology in Canada is the most important trend impacting how marketers are doing business today. So using digital technology to reach out to their customers through their computers, gaming devices, out-of-home electronic screens, or mobile devices. It includes many stellar online tools such as display advertising, affiliated marketing, search engine marketing, search engine optimization, pay-per-click advertising, mobile marketing, email, and social media marketing. So to give you the definition of content marketing, which is creating and sharing expertise, information, or branded content that is designed to inform and engage with tools such as research papers, ebooks, infographics, how-to videos, blogs, webinars, newsletters, case studies, and events that can be readily found in search engines. So an example of like a how-to video is you can see on lots of different social media platforms or digital platforms like YouTube. You could have like an influencer showing how to use a product. One example is I love to bake and create beautiful cakes. I don't like to eat them, but I like to bake them. So I follow Wilton on Pinterest. I subscribe to their YouTube channel. And on Pinterest and YouTube, you will find lots of how-to videos using Wilton products, like a new tip how to make, that rosebud flower with buttercream icing. Then the second one is mobile marketing. It's a set of practices that enables organizations to communicate and engage with their audience and interact in a relevant manner through any mobile device or network. Lots of examples. I take a look at my phone right now. I have a mobile app on my phone for Wayfair, Lululemon, Etsy, Sephora. So that is how they would, push notifications to me. I'm able to search for products right through the app. Proximity marketing. This is the distribution of marketing content to mobile devices that have opted in at a particular local geolocation to receive information. So if I'm in a certain proximity, I know Starbucks does this. If you have the app, it would tell you different promotions that are happening within that certain location. Just think of your phone. It is one of the most intimate devices that you can have, because what do we keep on here? We keep all of our photos. If you take a look at your wallet, you have your the wallet app on your phone, that is. You can have your loyalty cards connected to it. I have a credit card connected to it. Then I could do Apple Pay. So it can track your every location and tap into that advantage. And then the last one there is social media marketing, which is, we all know, is a form of online media that allows members to create their own network of friends and contacts to share comments, articles, opinions, videos, etc. So just think of the power that is in that. So an example, a couple years ago, went to Disney World with my family and another family. Each photo that I posted, I tagged Disney World in it. So therefore, when I would post it and share it on my feed, it exposed so many other potential customers to Disney and what a great time we're having, and etc. Also, we have augmented reality, which is a relatively new technology combining things in the real world with computer-generated information. It allows people to enjoy experiences that are often more immersive than the real world alone offers. And I am getting ready to, hopefully in 2023, go to Disney World again with my family now that they are a little bit older. That is, COVID pending. But I've been doing lots of research on Disney and the changes that they have made to their products and services out there. And you're probably thinking, oh, she's loyal to Disney. Well, I'm fascinated with Disney, the brand, and all the strategies and tactics that they do and how innovative they are. I don't always travel to Disney when I travel, but they came out with this augmented reality. If you subscribe to like Genie Plus, and you can take photos. It's like all those different filters that you would see in Snapchat or Instagram, that I can take a photo of us at Disney World or myself sitting in my chair, and it puts like, the Minnie Mouse ears on me, or it has Tinkerbell in my hand if I put my hand out. So that is one example there. The next thing there is experiential marketing, which is an approach where marketers create opportunities for customers to directly interact face-to-face with that brand. So it's often using, public relations, event marketing, and you're really trying to break through all the noise and the clutter that's out there with all the competition. So an example of this would be, you go to Costco. And Costco is always known for their tasting station. So that's where it's allowing you to experience that brand or that food product face to face, taste it, then go and purchase it. Then we have influencer marketing. So businesses are no longer limited to just major celebrities and names that everyone knows when deciding to work with an influencer. You can have micro influencers, which they promote to a smaller niche. Typically 1,000 to 10,000 followers that they have. And when they engage with those followers, they are exposing them to the product that they've been hired to, influence for. I think of the Kardashians, love them or hate them. They are influencers at its finest, with all the number of followers that they have. I was seeing that Khloe Kardashian a while ago was promoting or hired to be an influencer for some water company, and the millions of people that she was able, to influence to purchase that bottled water. And then the last thing on this slide is partnership marketing. So this is to create formal associations between brands that will result in incremental business for both the brands. So the first thing there is your promotional partnerships. And an example of that is Nutella and Tim Hortons. They have a short-term partnership where they've used the Nutella in, their products. And then you have a strategic alliance, which is a long-term, arrangement between companies with similar values and marketing objectives that extend beyond short-term promotional offers into long-term formal business agreements. For example, this bank card that you see here on this PowerPoint slide, with Bank of Nova Scotia and Scene. So when you have that bank card, you're getting points towards Scene, which is, for you to go to the Cineplex or go to the movie theater. That is a strategic alliance between Scotiabank and Scene. Then moving on to matrix and analytics. These are done to improve programs and drive better results. Matrix, what they refer to as the numeric data that is collected and grouped to track performance. And analytics refers to the process of taking those matrix data and applying smart thinking and technology to gain actionable insights that can make better business decisions. Because of technology, we have a wealth of matrix that will allow us to make better business decisions. And marketers are challenged to use these to make and understand and how to build better relationships with our customers. And the last thing is customer groups exert pressure on government bodies to protect our society. New laws protect customers' right to privacy. So the Canadian Marketing Association, they have guidelines, codes of ethics, and educational programs. And its purpose is to encourage high marketing standards that are honest, truthful, accurate, fair, and also professional. The Code of Ethics covers topics such as accurate representations, truthfulness in marketing communications, price claims, fulfillment practices, privacy, marketing to children, and marketing to teenagers. It also provides direction on direct marketing practices, also sales promotion, public relations, and how we go about doing media usage. So this chapter discussed some of the marketing fundamentals, and throughout this semester we will be getting into these concepts and theories and much more in depth. But if you are interested in a career in marketing, it's really important that you have a passion for what you do, that you can thrive in a fast-paced environment. You have to have strong communication skills. You have to be analytical, problem-solving. You have to be creative and also hardworking. And you have to be able to work with others in a team. You have to have skills in technology. You have to be ability to conduct any data analysis. And like I said, problem solving. Critical thinking, analytical skills are so important. Thank you so much for listening to this lecture. If you guys have any questions at any time, do not hesitate to reach out to me. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy.